Hey everyone, this is Coach Jordan from J. Ganser FC. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at how Bayern Munich opened their season with an incredibly dominant performance over Schalke. First, let's take a look at Bayern's starting lineup. This is the normal Bayern Munich lineup with just a few changes. Leroy Sané makes his debut for the club after his move from Manchester City, displacing Kingsley Coman, and Lucas Hernandez is in for the young and impressive Alphonso Davies. Bayern played with possibly the most fluid positioning I have ever seen, and this will be a common theme shown throughout the video. Now let's look at how Bayern lined up when defending. They were not defending very much during this game, as Schalke found it very difficult to get out of Bayern's high press. Bayern lined up with 3 at the back at all times. When the ball was out wide, the wingback on that side would push up onto the ball, and the opposite wingback would fall in line with the center backs. One of the central midfielders would help close the ball down, while the other would recover from the high press. Let's take a close look at why Bayern are considered one of the best pressing teams in the world. When Schalke's keeper possessed the ball, he would be pressed by either Lewandowski or Müller, depending on who was closer. The other would sit a few yards back, stopping a pass to Schalke's deepest central midfielder. Gnabry and Sané stayed wide, ready to press Schalke's center backs when they received the ball. This front four created a T-shape with their positioning. Here we'll see the first sign of fluidity in Bayern's press as we see Kimmich pushed higher than Müller and Müller dropping back to cover for him. When the ball did get played to the Schalke center backs, usually on goal kicks, the wide forward on that side, either Gnabry or Sané, would press the ball. Notice that since the ball was not live when the Schalke's keeper had it, neither Lewandowski nor Müller pressed the forward and were able to cover 2 midfielders instead. The wide forward that pressed would go at an angle so that the keeper could not give the ball back to the center back that was pressed. Bayern's wing backs would push the opposition fullbacks when the ball was on their side. When the ball would be played back to the center or switched, that wing back would fall off and the other wing back would push up, as can be seen with Hernandez and Pavard here. And now we will see Bayern's most successful high press, leading to a turnover in a threatening position. And to finish off the press, let's see how fluid Bayern was with their press. First, we see Müller covering for an advanced Pavard, and Goretzka pushed up instead of Kimmich. Then we see Tolisso pushed up ahead of Müller, with Müller covering as a central midfielder. The key to Bayern's lethal attack against Schalke was that they played with a front four of Müller, Sané, Gnabry, and Lewandowski. This was mostly a flat front four, with all of the players interchanging. Nobody played the same role for more than 3 minutes at a time. This sounds very simplistic, but that's exactly what their attack was. Get the ball to the front four quickly and attack. They were given freedom to get the ball out wide, but mostly they countered very quickly and pushed all the way to the goal. As far as tactics go, this is going to sound a bit silly for many of you, but please bear with me. Bayern's front four played in what I would describe as lanes. You had wide right, right center, and wide left. These are the roles that the players were changing, and it made it easy for them to fill in where there was a gap in one of the lanes. Here's a counterattack where Sané fills in the correct lane and Tolisso hangs back as a trailing midfielder. This trailing midfielder was important because Schalke was so worried about Bayern's front four that the midfielder was allowed all kinds of space just behind. This will lead to one of Bayern's goals that we will take a look at. And, of course, Bayern's front four were fluid as well. Here, Gnabry drops deep to play as left wing back, while Hernandez runs ahead to take on the wide left role. And then Lewandowski drops in as right wing back after he passes to an overlapping Pavard. Bayern built out of the back in a very consistent way that shows just how intelligent the entire squad is. Bayern wanted to keep their front four while keeping 3 players in each of the other tiers of their build-out. Normally, the back 3 during build-up would consist of both the center backs and either Goretzka or Kimmich. However, there were times when Pavard got caught back, causing not only the midfielder to move on to the next tier, but also the wide right player from the front 4 to drop in to provide width to help move the ball forward. In this example, Muller does just that. And here, Goretzka is caught too far upfield. Sané notices that and drops into the second tier to help with the build out. As mentioned previously, Bayern would try and get the ball forward as quickly as possible. This led to a few very good counterattacks that relied on the front 4 filling into the lanes. But let's now look at how Bayern attacked when they were building out from the back. Bayern would normally start their push forward by getting the ball wide to the wingbacks. This often created space for the central midfielder, normally Kimmich, to use his passing to push the ball forward to the front 4. They rarely went from wingback to wide forward. Instead, they would turn and reset with the center backs. If they were not able to advance the ball this way, or if the wide players were covered, it left space in the middle of the field for the front 4 to check into. This would leave a gap in the lane that forward just left, allowing another forward to fill that gap, and the player that checked to the ball to fill in somewhere else. Here we see Sané and Lewandowski both checking to the ball. Lewandowski, in the left center lane, receives the pass and flicks it onto Sané, who is in the right center lane. Notice now that Sané chests the ball towards the open space that Lewandowski just created with his lane vacancy, and Lewandowski fills in the lane that Sané just left. Now let's take a look at the lane theory in action, as Sané moves 2 lanes in one move, and Muller and Lewandowski each slide over a lane. Sané checks to the ball from the wide right position and receives the pass. Lewandowski sees the space in behind Sané and fills the wide right lane. Sané turns inside with the ball, and Muller runs into the space just created by Lewandowski in the right center lane. Sané plays the ball ahead to Hernandez, who has run into the wide left lane, with Gnabry filling in and supporting as the wingback. Once again, this shows how fluid Bayern's system is. Sané fills in the left center role that was left empty by Muller, and just misses the cross by Hernandez. The other form of attack was a direct long ball over the top. This worked surprisingly well against the incredible speed of Sané and Gnabry, along with the front 4 constantly checking to the ball. Now we will look at how Bayern created all 8 of their goals. The first was from a long ball over the top by Kimmich to Gnabry. As the defender is looking at Muller, Gnabry runs behind the defense while switching lanes with Muller. Goretzka picked up Bayern's second. Muller played the ball high over the top for Lewandowski, who was able to bring it down. He then plays the ball out to a wide Gnabry, and Kimmich runs into the box. I'm not sure if this was a tactical choice since Gnabry was so far wide, or if he just felt that he wanted to attempt to score. Gnabry's ball ends up behind everyone and falls to Muller, whose back is the goal. He drops it to an open Goretzka, who slides it into the corner. If we look at an alternate angle, we can see how well Goretzka filled in as a trailing midfielder and how much space he had in front of him. Lewandowski scored the third from a penalty, but let's see how he won it. Bayern built out of the back by going to Pavard on the right, who played the ball centrally into a wide open Kimmich. Kimmich played the ball to Lewandowski, who turned with it instead of flicking it onto another player. Since Lewandowski did not move lanes, everyone stayed in their lane and simply ran forward. Lewandowski beat his man and drew a foul before he was able to get a clean shot off. Gnabry scored Bayern's fourth, barely a minute into the second half. Pavard played a ball on to Lewandowski, who then played it back to Muller. And then Muller plays a ball over the top with a header in what can only be described as the most Muller thing ever. Gnabry taps it on to Sane, who takes it to goal and touches it wide of the keeper for Gnabry to finish. Gnabry finished off his hat-trick by scoring Bayern's fifth. We can once again see the lanes on display. Pavard wins the ball back with a toe poke to Kimmich. Kimmich has space, and three of the front four take off, but Muller decides he's not going to run for this one. Kimmich plays the ball over the top for Sane, who is in the right center position. Lewandowski and Gnabry both run forward, staying in their lanes, and Sane has two options to play the ball. Again, he plays the ball wide for Gnabry to finish. Muller scored goal number 6, but the Rabona assist from Lewandowski has everyone talking. This goal best shows the incredible flexibility of Bayern's system and the players' intelligence. First, we see Gnabry again filling in his wingback, this time with Pavard pushing into the wide right position. Kimmich is also in the central midfielder position with Tolisso sitting back. After some build-up, Muller checks back to receive the ball. Tolisso overtakes Kimmich's position as a central or trailing midfielder, and Kimmich drops deep. Muller plays the ball to Tolisso, who then plays a first-time pass to Lewandowski. Notice that Lewandowski has moved into the right center lane Muller was previously in, and Muller is now moving to the trailing midfielder position as Tolisso fills the left center lane Lewandowski left. And the rest is history. Lewandowski hits a Rabona to Muller, who was intelligent enough to switch with Tolisso, knowing there would be plenty of space up top for the trailing midfielder. Goal number 7 is a very simple one. Sane checks to Kimmich to receive a pass and the defender follows him. Sane then turns around and outruns every Schalke defender to pick up his first competitive goal for Bayern. Bayern's 8th was more of the same, with the same filling of lanes, same type of attack. But this video is getting pretty lengthy, so I'm not going to show you the same thing over again. In my opinion, I think that Flick is the best manager in the world. He has his forwards interchanging so that the entire opposition defense needs to worry about them, allowing space for midfielders. The press on Schalke's defenders and goalkeeper proved to be genius, and the opposition had no answer for it. And Bayern's forwards checking to the ball showed to be the most effective way of attacking. This plan of allowing players to interchange positions and draw defenders out of position is something I have never seen done so fluidly and successfully before. Everyone understands how the team should be playing and filling each other's positions. No one stops moving the entire game, but fills in where needed to keep the system running efficiently. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please make sure to give it a like. And don't forget to join the club by hitting the subscribe button.